this town we call home. Everyone hail to the gamer song.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Brews and Board Games. Here we are, the last night in the 5 Nights of Fright, a top 10 Halloween games. We had a lot of fun. We really like Halloween. You know, I like the spookiness of it. I like the monsters. So we wanted to do something with Halloween-themed gaming. So we came up with the 5 Nights of Fright, you know, do some playthroughs, top it off with a top 10. And we had a blast, man. I want to thank Lauren for playing the games, the Mansions of Madness. We stayed up till 2 a.m. playing the game. So kudos to her. And then plus with that intro song, which I think is awesome. I broke it down between the videos and just her changing up the words a little bit to kind of fit for the channel and stuff like that. That was really cool of her. So I want to thank Lauren a lot. I really do appreciate it. The feedback has been awesome. You know, some of the games, there's been some cool moments. Some of the equipment has stopped working, like in Solomon Kane, almost like it was haunted. We made some move blunders. The Zombicide playthrough comes to mind. So it was really cool. There was a lot going on. And if you guys haven't watched those, I do encourage you to check out the playthroughs. We had a blast. But here we are with the top 10 Halloween games. Now, when it comes to the top 10, I haven't played every single dark or horror game, Halloween game. So if it's not on this list, I probably haven't played it. Like, you're not going to see Arkham Horror. You're not going to see Mysterium. But there are plenty of other good Halloween games. But the games that are on my list are games that I have played that I think fit this bill. So that is the standard that I'm going to be using for this list. So if you have any additions to add, please say it in the comments. So with that being said, let's just get right into number 10. All right, so the first up is One Night Ultimate Werewolf. This is by Bezier Games. This is a social deduction game for 3 to 10 players. The more, the merrier. And basically in this game, everybody's going to be given a role. That could include things like the werewolf, a villager, a seer, a drunk too. So basically what the villagers are trying to do is kill the werewolves. And the werewolves are trying to not die. So basically everybody's going to close their eyes. And at different parts in the game, you are going to open up your eyes and have to do different actions. That could be swapping 2 players' roles, or just looking at yours, or maybe swapping yours with the middle, stuff like that. So after that is all said and done, you open up your eyes, everybody does, and then you have to talk about who is what, right? You say, okay, who was the seer, right? Who was the tanner, stuff like that. And you got to figure this out by communicating with the other people. But why I really like this is because it's so quick, right? A lot of times, I play this with my family maybe after dinner and we want to do something together really fast before, people, dart out and do their own thing. So we might take this, we have it right on a shelf right by the dining room table, bust this out, play a bunch of games. It only takes a few minutes and we have a good time. We're trying to figure out who's what, and then you're looking at everybody's faces and they're smiling and they're still, denying that they might be the werewolf. It's good fun. And it's very quick. Like I said, we play a bunch of games of this, and it takes no time at all. Now, one thing I really like about this is they have a fantastic app. The app will read all the roles out. You just plug in what roles you are including in the games, right? Because you're probably not gonna include every single role. You're gonna leave some out. So you just plug in what roles you're using for the game, and then the app reads it out to you. Okay, werewolves, open your eyes. And it's got this dark voice too. It's got some, haunting music playing in the background. It really puts you into this mood a little bit. And sometimes, we might light a candle, turn the lights off. We got the app reading to us and, we open up our eyes and we got to figure it out. It's a lot of fun. It really puts you into like a little theme of it. It's just good, solid fun. It's very quick. and that app is just fantastic. So that is going to be number 10, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Next up, we have Cthulhu Wars. This copy I have here is Duel. This is by Peterson Games, and this is an area control, and then Duel turns it into a skirmish game. But in this game, you're going to be playing as a great old one. You're going to have your own faction. And each faction is going to have different abilities, unique abilities from the other old ones. And basically, you are vying for control of the planet. So you are going to have to move your figures around, summon cultists, summon gates, and you're going to be acquiring power over the course of the game. And that power is going to let you summon more monsters. And then you're going to use those monsters to fight the opponent. And here, it's a head-to-head game. But in Cthulhu Wars, you can have multiple players on the board at the same time. You are also going to be unlocking unique abilities in your spell book. Each monster is going to do something slightly different, and you are going to battle each other using dice combat. At the end of the game, whoever has the most doom wins the game. Now, I really like this. I have not played Cthulhu Wars, the bigger version. I do have it on order, but Cthulhu Wars, and I believe it's basically the same as Duel, except not as many players in Duel. Duel is a head-to-head. Now, why I like this game is because of these cool-looking monsters. This has standees, but in the bigger version, they are big, hulking minis. But they just look sick, man. You got Cthulhu, you got the Black Goat in this version. I know they also released an additional version of Duel with 2 different old ones as well. But dude, they just look really cool. And it's the whole board, and with the minis, is this dark, gloomy vibe to it. You got to control these places of the planet, right? With these old ones and these monsters. And you got these cultists that you're summoning and stuff like that. It's really cool. And the game plays pretty fast. I do like it for a skirmish game as well. I think it's really cool. And I am excited to get the bigger version. The gameplay is great. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And you really feel like you're kind of like these monsters battling it out with other monsters for control of the planet. So that is going to be Cthulhu Wars. And by default, Cthulhu Wars Duel. All right, and the next one up is actually one that we played on the Five Nights of Fright. This is going to be Horrified. This is by Prosper Hall and Ravensburger. And in this is a cooperative game. You're working together to try to defeat these classic universal monsters from terrorizing this village. You're going to have to save these villagers, collect items, and each monster is going to have 2 parts to it. You're going to have to solve the first part before you can actually defeat them for the last one. Me and my wife, we really like this game. Like I said, we actually just did a playthrough of this on the channel. The last time I think we played this was last Halloween. It does seem like we like getting this out for Halloween. It just has this classic Halloween vibe to it. From the artwork on the board, the monster minis, the art on the monster mats themselves, everything has this classic feel to it. You really kind of, get the sense of like these classic movies, these classic Halloween movies. It's using the Universal Studios monsters. You got Frankenstein, Wolfman, Creature of the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man, Dracula, Frankenstein, Frankenstein's Bride. So you got all these cool monsters. But we really like this. This is a lot of fun. It's a lightweight game. This is an excellent game to bring the people that haven't played games before. It's a lightweight family game, but it also has some cool, interesting decisions that you can make throughout. You never really feel, at least me, even when you're kind of in trouble, you always feel like there's kind of a way out, right? There's always these constant items being put on the board. So you always kind of feel like there's things that you can do to dig yourself out if you get into any trouble. But I like it. It doesn't play too long either. This is just an excellent game. We really like this one. And they do have another one out with the American monsters. You got Chupacabra, I think maybe Yeti, Sasquatch, stuff like that. I don't know too much more of the monsters that are in there, but that one looks interesting. And I like this game enough, and the price point is good enough that I am still considering getting that other version of it. We just really like this. So to have more monsters to play against, I think that would be really cool. So this is going to be Horrified. All right, next up, Hell has risen to come and take over the planet. This is going to be Planet Apocalypse, also by Peterson Games. This is a tower defense type game where you're going to be playing as a hero trying to stop the Lord who has opened up this hell gate, and hell's monsters are coming through to try to conquer the world. So throughout the game, you are going to be acquiring what's called gifts, which are these powerful abilities, and your character is going to upgrade over the course of the game. Now, the monsters are also going to become more numerous throughout the course of the game. There's going to be a despair track and a lore track, which kind of acts as a clock. So throughout the game, it's going to go around and around, which is going to advance the Lord further and further, and you have to stop that Lord before they reach the start point or before the doom track gets to a certain point. So throughout the game, as this clock goes around, there's going to be more and more dice being rolled, which if you pair the dice, and I have a playthrough of this, so if you guys are curious about this, please check out the playthrough. But when you roll the dice, if you have matching pairs of symbols, that is going to spawn monsters on the board. So when you add more and more dice, the possibility of more matches becomes higher. So there's going to be more and more monsters spawn, and they're going to move closer and closer to you through this track. But you're going to have to acquire defenses over the course of the game, and that could be like police officers, special forces, and those are going to be cards laid on certain parts of the board. So as the monsters come into those spaces, you're going to be able to roll dice and attack those monsters, hopefully helping you to kill the monsters as well. But this is a pure dice rolling game with acquiring a lot of abilities. There's a lot of dice being rolled in this game. This can be a hard game. The monsters can get some pretty good rolls against you, and you're going to have to make the right decisions to counter that, and to be able to heal, jump in, attack the Lord, jump back out, heal your wounds up a little bit, get more gifts, more powerful abilities to go in and fight that Lord again. But these minis in this game are just sick. I made a comment about this on one of the playthroughs to Lauren, and basically I read somewhere, I think it was Sandy Peterson who designed the game, put out something, and people were wondering, I don't know if people were wondering, I'm trying to summarize, but basically all of the monsters in here, the demons, all the openings only bring stuff in. They only consume, they don't excrete. So in weird places, you got these mouths and these tongues going everywhere. You got like feet where a head should be. It's insane, dude. But I really like the minis in here. If this stuff doesn't bother you, these minis look freaking cool, dude. But it really puts you in that mood of like, you only have a limited amount of time, right? The monsters are the armies are getting more powerful and coming to you. You got to go in to hell time, it's called, to defeat the Lord before it's too late. So I really like this game. It can be hard, but I have a blast. I got everything for it. I just really like it, and my friends do as well. So this is going to be Planet Apocalypse. And next up, summoning to the table, is Cthulhu Death May Die. This is by Simon. In this game, you're basically playing as an investigator throughout what's called episodes, and each episode is a little bit different. And basically, the old ones are being summoned to Earth's plane, and you're going to have to defeat them. So this ritual is taking place, and you have to defeat the old one before it gets to a certain point. And throughout the game, it's going to be hectic. There's going to be a bunch of monsters coming onto the board. You're going to be able to run around the board. You have to perform these different acts. You're going to be going insane. You're going to be able to unlock new abilities. You're going to be taking wounds. But I love the chaos in this game. What's cool is when you start to go insane throughout different events in the game, you're going to be able to use that to unlock different abilities. And those abilities are really going to help you out. This is a dice roller, but it's just the chaos from this game is really cool. Check out the playthrough me and my wife did on the channel. We played episode 1, and in that episode, we had to destroy these labs. But the whole place is catching on fire. We're running around the place. Cthulhu spawned. We are able to defeat Cthulhu. But we just had a blast with that, and we have a blast every single time we play this. It's kind of like a little dungeon crawler, but just the sheer amount of stuff going on in this game just makes it absolutely fun. And you know, there's these cultists on the board, there's these crazy looking monsters, and everything is just moving around, and you have to just stop the old one, defeat them, and the ritual is still going on. You know, this token is still moving down, and you still have to defeat the old one before it reaches that point. It's just chaos, man. It's just a lot of fun. And there's a bunch of different episodes, which it changes up the game a little bit too. And with 2 old ones, at least in the core box, with more that you are able to acquire, each game can feel a little bit different. And it really puts you in like that. You got to stop the ritual, right? Or, you know, you got to defeat the old one before it gets to a certain point, right? And you got to defeat these cultists and these monsters. It's just a lot of fun. We really have a good time with this every single time we play it. And just being able to get those different abilities when you go insane, it's just a really cool thing. So we really like this one. Cthulhu Death May Die. Next up, we're chucking Molotovs in Zombicide. And this is going to be 2nd edition. I have not played the other Zombicide games. This is also going to be by Simon. And basically, you are playing as these survivors in this zombie apocalypse. And you're going to have to acquire these different items, you know, weapons and stuff like that. And you're going to have to complete certain objectives. All the while, these zombie hordes are going to be coming onto the board, coming after you. And you're going to have to mow down these zombies, throw Molotovs. Check out the playthrough, the Fort Hendricks playthrough. Dude, we got a bunch of Molotovs in there. I was so shocked, dude. Because in the first one, you know, I think we only got 1 in that first playthrough. But we have a lot of fun with this one. It's light, it's not complex, it's a dice roller. You know, so when you acquire these different weapons, you're going to have to roll these dice against the zombies. Different zombies take different priorities. Different zombies do different things. Like you got runners, fatties, walkers, and then you got the abominations too. So you're going to have to pick up these, search the buildings for items, acquire different things, complete the objective, all the while just tearing apart these zombies that are growing in number coming after you. And what's cool is, as you kill the zombies, you get more and more abilities. You're going to have this tracker that goes up. You're going to acquire what's called AP, at least in 2nd edition. And when you get to certain levels, you're going to be able to unlock different abilities. And those abilities can be very powerful. But as the team levels up, that is going to determine how many zombies come onto the board. So as you get stronger, more and more zombies are going to come on. And we like this one every time I play it. Like I said, it's not complex, but you really get that feeling of like, you got to make some right moves or else those zombies are going to grow in number and they're going to start to surround you. So you got to just, you know, be shooting off at them. It really makes you feel like you're just in this, you know, street, and these zombies are coming at you from all different angles, and you gotta be like, pop, 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 pop. Like you guys are like back to back, just taking shots off. Somebody shoots a rocket launcher, another person shoots a sniper rifle, other person's like, get down, and throws a Molotov. So really cool, man. Really like this game. We just played the Fort Hendricks edition, which is a campaign that changes up the rules a little bit. So it's always cool to be able to do different scenarios in the core game. And then if you want to play like an expansion that tweaks the rules a little bit, you have that as well. So that is going to be Zombicide 2nd edition, but you can honestly replace this 2nd edition with any Zombicides out there. So that is going to be Zombicide 2nd edition. Next up is a game that keeps rising on my list of favorite games, and that is Nemesis. This is a fantastic horror game. This is by Awakened Realms. And basically, you have woken up on this ship. You don't remember much. You have amnesia. And you're going to have to fix maybe the engines. You're going to have to set the destination of the ship to go back to Earth. You're going to have to complete your objective. All the while, when you're traveling throughout the ship, you're going to be making this noise. You're going to have to find new items. And aliens are then going to come onto the board, and you're going to have to deal with them. Why I really like this game, I think it is one of the most thematic games. When you are walking around this ship, you get the sense of like, oh, is an alien going to come onto the board, right? You almost don't want to move there because you're just that afraid of the alien coming on. Because when they come on, it can be really hard, depending on your character, to deal with those aliens. And then once multiple aliens come onto the board, it's just going to make things a lot harder. But in addition to that, if you're playing with multiple players and you are playing with the semi-co-op variant, they might pick an objective card which says maybe a player has to die or maybe the ship has to explode. So while you kind of get a cooperative feel, if you're playing with that semi-co-op, you don't know if that person is going to sabotage the mission. So it's already kind of like dark and gloomy going around the ship, but then you have to also kind of trust your teammate, or maybe you want to take on the role of sabotaging the ship and they don't know, right? So there's this mini game in there as well if you're playing the semi-co-op. But even as a co-op, it's still fantastic. You guys got to work together to fix the ship, make sure it goes to Earth, right? Maybe get into the escape pod or the hibernatorium. It's just fantastic. There's a lot going on. You have to try to prevent the ship from malfunctioning, try to stop it from catching fire. You're going to be taking wounds, maybe have an alien inside of you, so you're going to become infested. There's a lot going on. This is highly thematic. Play some dark, eerie music in the background, dude, and you've got a really thematic experience on your hand, and a fantastic game to boot. Like I said, this keeps rising as one of my on my list of favorite games every single time I play it. And it's a fantastic solo game as well. So this is Nemesis by Awakened Realms. I can't say enough good things about this. Just dark and gloomy, and it's just fun to just travel the ship and just be like, oh, I'm going to move there. What do I have? Oh, I'm slimed and I just found the nest, right? So the queen comes on. Things can happen like that, but it makes it all the more fun. So that is going to be Nemesis, a fantastic horror game. This next game is also one that I played on the channel. The hell is that game? Jesus Christ, bro. All right, Solomon Kane by Mythic Games. I really like this game. I did a review on this a while back. In this, you are playing as a virtue, and you are guiding Solomon Kane on his adventures. These adventures are written or inspired by Robert E. Howard, who also wrote Conan. And in this game, you are, as the virtue, you are guiding Solomon Kane, influencing his decisions. And you are vanquishing these shadows that are coming at him. And you are aiding him in all kinds of different adventures. And they're called acts, I believe. They're like stories. And each of those booklets or stories are going to be broken down into two different parts, a story and a scene. And in the story, you're going to have to illuminate Solomon Kane's path by doing some card play. And then once you get to the scene, that's where you're going to set up the minis on a board, and you're going to have Solomon Kane. You're going to have to move Solomon Kane around. You're going to be able to talk to different people, fight different people, and explore. And you as the virtue, when these shadows are going to come at Solomon Kane, they're trying to sabotage him. So you as the virtue, you have to guide him and vanquish these shadows. And these stories are really, really cool. But one of the coolest things that I like about the game is they have what's called these discovery cards. So in this game, you're not just, once you get to the scene where you set up the board and stuff, you're not just reading a certain paragraph or two explaining what you're doing in the scene, and then that's it. And then later on, after you've completed that, then you read more. No, the discovery cards are adding story the entire time that you're playing the game, immersing you more into what you're doing. And I really like that. Without that, this would probably be rated lower. I do like the story card play, if you will, illuminating the path, and then having it, you have to get a certain value, and then you go to different, maybe set up a scene a different way, so on and so forth. And I like the scenes a lot, guiding him around. But those discovery cards keep you in the story. And they can be a variety of different things. I've played through a few, I'm forgetting what the booklets are called. stories. I've played through a few stories already, and they each are really, really cool. Whether you're in like a tavern and you have to talk to different people and, you know, discover something about the location that you're going to, or you have found this inn deep in the woods, and you've met this companion, and you both go into this inn, and people are acting a little shady, right? And you get introduced to this room, and you're now trying to figure out, wait, is this companion that you found on the road, are they who they seem to be? Is this place what it seems to be? There's a lot of different stories that come in here, and it's very cool being able to guide Solomon Kane and stuff like that. Every time I play this, I get a sense of eerie and gloomy, and the shadows are coming at you. Even the townspeople, right? Maybe you have to convince the townspeople that this person isn't as bad as they think that he is. So there's a lot of cool different things. Even there's the shadows in here. There are some monsters as well, but it's really you as Solomon Kane exploring these different places. Even the people, the townsfolk people, like whenever you're in a tavern and stuff, you just get this vibe of like, there's something suspicious going on, right? And so with that, I really like this game. Again, put on some eerie music in the background, and this is just a fantastic game. Very thematic, immerses you into the story. And Robert E. Howard, dude, the stories are fantastic, which helps a lot. So Solomon Kane, an excellent, dark, eerie game. I really enjoy this one. Next up, we have another fantastic game by Awakened Realms, and this is Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. This is a very dark, thematic game. And in this game, you are playing as a villager. You are not the hero. The heroes have actually left to go get help because there's a strange, dark, mysterious fog all around you called the weirdness. And this weirdness has been encroaching more and more. The people of Avalon have built these menhirs or menhirs, whatever you want to say, to ward off this weirdness. But the menhirs are fading. So the heroes have left to get help because they haven't heard word from anybody for a while, right? And this weirdness can warp your mind, can warp the creatures into different things. So this is very evil stuff. So you haven't heard back from the heroes for quite some time. So you as the villager, you go out to explore the land to figure out what happened to those heroes. And along the way, you are going to be experiencing different things. You're going to be acquiring different items. You're going to be finding out, you know, playing investigator, exploring, figuring out what exactly happened. And along that way, you're going to be fighting monsters. You're going to be getting delirious from this weirdness stuff. You're going to be seeing weird stuff, having nightmares, having these dreams. It's a very dark and gloomy place. Now, what I really like is you're going to be going around exploring the land of Avalon, and you're going to have to make these different decisions and make these different selections, which will alter your path a little bit. And all the while, you're dealing with like these crazed people, right? People that want to help you. Monsters are going to be chasing you, and you're going to be just uncovering these very strange things throughout this land. Because remember, this weirdness is some really powerful stuff. It's a very dark thematic experience. On top of that, I already thought the game was fantastic. But then the app, they released the app. And when I started using that, oh boy, this really sets the mood. The app narrates everything. You just plug in your selections into the app when you're moving around your character. The app really, really makes this game pop even more. It's got some audio going. It really sets the mood. And it's this real dark vibe. You're going to be facing monsters. You're going to be using a combat deck and a diplomacy deck, and you're going to have to set those cards in certain ways to maximize your efficiency in those certain things that you're doing. This is a fantastic game. It really, really sets you in the mood. The artwork is fantastic on the cards that you're putting out there. It is top notch. And then just trying to really light those menhirs while you're doing other things. This can be one of those games where it slightly takes you out of the mood because you have to go back and constantly set the menhirs along your path because you use those menhirs to light your way. So you can't uncover more lands unless you light a menhir that might allow you to do so. So it might take you out of it just briefly to go back and set those menhirs. You're like, oh man, I got to go back and set that, because once it goes out, some negative effects are going to happen to you. You can house rule that to maybe get yourself fully immersed into the story, but either way, it is a fantastic, very thematic experience. This takes place in Arthurian legends and stuff like that. It's dealing with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. A fantastic story to boot. So this is very thematic, fantastic story, very dark and gloomy. The app is fantastic. Really, really sets you into the mood. I can't recommend Tainted Grail enough. All right, and the last one is Mansions of Madness, as my wife likes to say, or Mansions of Madness by Fantasy Flight Games. In this game, you are playing as an investigator throughout these different scenarios. And in these scenarios, an objective is going to be revealed to you over time. You're going to have to investigate different parts of the locations. You're going to be fighting different monsters. You're going to be uncovering spells. You're going to be damaged, getting wounded. You're going to be finding these unique items. The monsters are going to be doing attacking you. You're going to have to do horror checks against them. You're going to be going insane. There's a lot of different things happening in this game. But the investigation part is really, really cool. And this game uses an app which is fantastic. It's got this audio playing in the background that really sets the mood. And you're going to be inputting different selections. You're going to be rolling dice, and you're going to be inputting that value of the dice roll into this app. And this app is going to take care of a lot of different things. And it's going to be pretty thematic. It's going to read you some narration of the story. It's going to say that different things happen to you, whether that's the horror checks or the monsters attacking you. So it's going to add this story over time. So it really puts you into the mood. We did a playthrough of this up on the channel, me and my wife, for the 5 Nights of Fright, and we played the first scenario, Cycle of Eternity. And it's really, when you're investigating this house, all these different things are happening to you. And it's a lot of fun playing that investigator. The artwork in here is fantastic. The art on the cards, the art on the board, really, really good stuff. There's a lot of different scenarios in here, and there's a lot of expansions for this game as well. I really do like this game. I think the app helps to make it through the audio and the different things that happen to you when you plug it into the system. I really had a lot of fun with that investigation part. Just going by the scenario that we played in the playthrough, you're walking around this eerie house, and these monsters are spawning. You gotta talk to different people. You gotta investigate this. Oh, I gotta go over to this room. But that monster's over here, right? I'm gonna be getting attacked by them. And throughout the game, at least in the playthrough, I went insane, right? And the cool bit is you can't tell the other people what your insanity card is. So at the end of the game, when we finally finished it and we finally completed the objective, we won. But wait, I didn't. Right? My wife actually did, because my insanity card said that I actually needed 2 unique, or it was 2 evidence items. I don't know if they had to be unique or not, but I had one in my hand. And throughout the game, I was playing a little mini game with my wife. At 2 different points, I was like, do you want to trade me any items? You know, because she wanted some items from me, and I was like, okay, well, can I get an item from you? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh crap, I'm going to lose the game. So I was playing this little mini game with that too. So that was cool in of itself. And then I had this spell, the Wither spell, and I was just destroying these monsters, but they were having a negative impact on me and my wife as well. So very, very thematic. The app makes it. There's a lot of different scenarios in this game. A fantastic, highly thematic, puts you right into the mood. just an awesome, awesome, great experience. All right, guys, there we go. Top 10 Halloween games. Obviously, there's plenty of other games we could put on this list, but again, I haven't played all those games. So I'm putting on some great Halloween games that I know, that I love busting out at this time of year, and that are just fantastic games in their own right. I love getting out these games anyway, but this time of year, it's getting colder out, Halloween season. What better time than now to get out some games like this? Have a great time, you know, busting out some solo games, some lighter games with the family. Dude, it's a perfect time for playing board games. So that is going to be the top 10 Halloween games by Brews and Board. This is my first top 10, I think. I have more coming, so be sure to stay tuned. And also let me know what you think about this list. I want to hear from you what your top Halloween games are. So please let me know that in the comments. And if you like this video, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Everything helps, and I truly appreciate it. So until next time, I want to thank you guys for watching. Grab some brews, play some games. I'll catch you guys later. All right, take care.